you say? Welcome, welcome, welcome. You saying to me, guys? What are you telling me, bros? I'm D, and it's the Future Fathers FF podcast. One more time, one more time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. How you man been? I hope you've been alright. I've not been too bad myself. Work's been good. Week's been okay. Missus is alright. Hope your missus is okay. My youth is alright. Hope your youth's been alright. Hope your work's been alright. Hope your week at work's been okay. Hope you haven't been too stressed out on that. And like I tried to explain to you, man, I was a little while ago. Whew. And most of all, my brothers, I hope you ain't had to beat no one this week, because beatings, we don't need to be shelling them out too often. Yeah? So, how are you? I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Got my little drink here. I need to put this in a cup. Should have really put this in a cup, but neither here nor there now. It's not in a cup. Yeah. Uh, I need to make an adjustment here. There we go. Yes, there we go. So, as you can see, my brothers, and as I'm sure you figured out already before I even said anything, yes, how you felt when you found out you're going to be a dad. That's what we're talking about today, bros. Because you know what? This one was brought on by one of my colleagues at work. She's pregnant now. Her husband, I know him. They got married a little while ago this year, summer this year, and they met 2020, I believe it was, when he started working at my hotel. Yeah. So I've known them for a couple of years. I've known them for a few years. Even my missus was like, "Oh man, my man worked quick. He worked quick." Because they got married a little while ago, as I said, summer this year. And she just found out she's pregnant. So congratulations to both of them, finding out they're going to become parents. So this was inspired by them, like how it felt when I found out that first of all, when she told me, I was excited for her because she's my colleague at work. I know her husband, as I said. So I kind of felt like, oh my gosh, like, yes, these two gonna have children. They're gonna make dope parents, by the way. They are absolutely gonna be brilliant. And that child is gonna speak three languages at birth. Mom's Romanian, dad's Greek, and they both live in England. The child's multilingual already, and it's not even born yet. Like, come on. Like, some of us can't even speak one language properly. That's neither here nor there. But it just made me feel like, it just made me remember what I felt like when my missus told me that she was going to be, well, that she was pregnant and we were going to be parents. So I kind of said to her, listen, if my man needs anything, anything, and because I know him, yeah, and I know her, I know she's going to tell him what she did tell him, and he was extremely grateful where she came back to me and said, I said, if he needs anything, any advice, anything, don't matter, just let me know. He's a good guy. He really is a good person. So knowing that he's gonna have a child now, it just filled me with excitement for both of them. As I said, it made me also remember what it was like when I found out I was gonna be a dad. So I said, perfect. I'm gonna ask what it felt like when you guys found out you were gonna be dads. And I asked a couple people at work, a couple people that I know, and the answers that I got from them were pretty resounding. A few of them, actually, a few of them weren't happy in the sense that one's got, I think he said he's got four children, and so when he found out he was gonna have the fifth one, he was like, "Oh my gosh!" My brother, obviously, I know exactly how my brother felt. A couple of my friends, or should I say, not friends at work, associates at work. I haven't asked none of my brethrens, which I should have actually done. But as I said, it only came to me like in the last couple. Well, I can't even say in the last couple of days. Yesterday, I should have rang the man them and said, "Yo, do you know what? Blah blah blah. This is what it is. How did you feel?" I think I'm gonna do that for the next episode. But anyway, I digress. It filled me with so much emotion knowing that they're gonna have children. It started to. It started. It made me start to remember how I felt. And my brothers, I'm not gonna lie, I was shook. I was scared. Mainly because like I didn't know what to do. My dad weren't around like that, as you man know, and as he knows, if you're watching this, old man, you know as well. I don't know what it was like in my early years, so I can't speak on that, but I know what it was like later on. Anyway, when I found out I was gonna be a dad, I had so many preconceptions of what I had to do, or should I say preconceived notions on what I had to do, on what I was supposed to do. My brothers, half of that went straight out the window. When I saw my son first time, I told you what, I melted because I was like, this is I cannot put it into words. You have no idea. I cannot put it into words. Seeing my son was the single greatest moment I have had in my life to date. Seeing both of my sons, like acknowledging the life that we created together, but knowing that I'm your dad, I now have a responsibility to you that goes far beyond any monetary gain, far beyond any physical attributes that I have, and far beyond any mental state that I may be in at that present moment in time. And as life is ever changing, that mental state is ever changing as well. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I had no idea what I was gonna do. I had no way to. I felt like I had no one to ask and no one to turn to. I cannot say that I had no one to ask and no one to turn to because at the time, both my granddads were alive. My uncles, uh, I suppose I kind of could have asked them. Well, no, I couldn't have at the time. No, I couldn't. Well, I could have asked one because he had children as well. But I didn't really have those men in my life that I could have said, "What is this? What am I supposed to do?" I had one. I had one at the time. A good, good, good friend. D, if you're out there listening and you're hearing this or somebody knows him, yeah, and you can give man a shout. Darren, my brother, love you for the advice you give, man. Yeah, because you helped. There's been other men in my life that have shown me what it is to be a man. One in particular passed away a few years ago. He he was extremely influential to me because I saw how he dealt with his sons, and he had two sons as well. Well, he had more children than that, but the two sons that I know, he had two of them, and how he dealt with them was something that I hadn't seen before. And then I've got my two brethren, yeah, who they were raised by their dad, and then seeing that dynamic was completely foreign to me. That was completely foreign to me. I didn't know dads raised their children like that until, and you know what the joke is? You know, I'm gonna give you this. This is the madness, yeah. I used to go to I went to two different primary schools. I went to one primary school with these two brothers, yeah? Or should I say, I went to one primary school and then I left that primary school. I went to another primary school and I met these two brothers. I left that, or should I say, they left the primary school years, yeah? They left the primary school. I went to secondary school, not too far from there, yeah? Years went, I moved off the ends, moved clear off the ends. So the way I'm traveling to go to school, there's no way for me to even know about them, man. Years later, I meet them through another friend that I've met at secondary school. Lo and behold, he's one of their good friends. Only to find out that these two brothers that I knew from earlier on in my life know one of my mum's, what is related to one of my mum's good friends. And when she even said, my mum even said to me, "Oh yeah, I know that family." I was like, wow. To know that you know people like that, but nobody, even my mum didn't know that this man was raising his two sons. I'm not going to speak on it too much because I only know a certain part of their history. I do not know much more than that. But from what I saw, yeah, they live with their dad. And I'm talking 30 odd years ago. Yeah, I know that sounds like a long time. Maybe 25 plus years, 25 plus years. Let's just say that, yeah? So it's been a long, long time that I've known these two brothers, yeah? And I've known that their dad was raising them. But that concept to me, as I stated, was foreign because I hadn't seen it before. I didn't know about it. I only know about youths that were raised in two parent households and single mums that had children. That was it. And I had one, two, three, four friends growing up in my whole life, yeah, that were raised by their mum and dad. Four individuals. That is mad to me. Like, I'm 42 years old. I should know more people. I should know more people that were raised in households with mum and dad than just that. But those were the statistics. Those were the statistics that I grew up with in my life. In my life, I don't know about yours, so I can't speak on your life. But in mine. So coming back full circle now, when it came back on me to, what should I say? When it came to my turn to be a dad, I've stated this before, my brothers. I jumped in wholeheartedly. You could not hold me back. You could not hold me back. Everything that I could possibly do, or should I say, everything that I thought that was necessary for me to do, I tried in every possible way for me to make sure that I felt like my son knew that I loved him. And then when my second son come along, it was even better because I felt like now, you know what? I kind of know what I'm doing. I've got an idea of what I'm doing now. So it made it a little bit easier. All of these things happen over the course of life. You man know exactly what I'm talking about. When you got more than one child, yeah, it's it's dope. Other brothers out there will be able to talk on having more than two children. I can't. And then we turn to the darker side of being a dad. Some men out there don't want to have children. And through mistakes of their own or through no mistake of their own, the woman that they're with ends up pregnant. Now, bros, as dads, you know exactly how hard it is to get people to listen to you. Or actually, that should be a question. Do you know how hard it is to get people to listen to you? Because I can tell you this, yeah? my experience of being a dad was extremely hard in the sense that I was a I was a boy. I was a young boy just growing into adulthood. I was 18 when I found out, well, I was 17 when I found out my missus was going to be pregnant. Well, when my missus was pregnant, I was 17 when I found out. And I had no clue about life or anything. But all of a sudden, I was thrust into this role of taking care of somebody else, another life. The concept of fatherhood, it was completely lost on me. But finding out, I have no idea how I even persevered because it's not easy. Yeah, it's not easy. There are men out there who, as I stated, don't want children, and when they get pulled into different mistakes, different issues that they have, and then a child is the product of them sleeping with someone because it's a possibility. If that man says anything untoward to his female, he is considered a bad person. I cannot and will not bring any man in here and judge anybody. Do you know why? I've made mistakes too. I'm not proud of things that I've done in my life. So how can I bring anyone in here and judge man on what they've done with their life if I haven't lived my life as well as I could have? I can't do that. There's no point in doing that. So we're here to discuss and ask, man, do you know what, bro? Like, what was the experience like for you? Because for me, I tell you what, yeah, I skated away from, bro. It was bad. I was somebody that wanted to be involved. I was somebody that was involved. Yeah. I when we went to see the midwife, yeah, I knew exactly how many weeks pregnant my missus was. Exactly how many weeks with both pregnancies. Yeah. 3 months into my missus' pregnancy, when I knew the first trimester, when I knew the first trimester was done, yeah, that bag's packed. Hospital bag. Don't you can't come near me talking about, oh, have you got this? What? I'm showing you the best, or at least I'm showing you some form of that that you're like, hold on, where'd you get that from? I was that kind of dad because I felt like I needed to be involved that much. And it wasn't even like I felt like I had to be involved that much. That was how enthusiastic I was. That was how involved I was. Just knowing that I brought another life into existence, or should I say, I helped bring another life into existence, was enough to spur me on to saying, you know what, my life it's not my life anymore. I didn't realize that until years into me being a dad, but initially finding out, oh my gosh, my brothers, the wave of euphoria that came after the wave of, oh my gosh, my mom's gonna kill me. I got this girl pregnant. I'm sure my mom's gonna do me harm. She didn't. She didn't. My mom was super understanding. Like it was mad. I thought I was gonna get it, but I didn't. I really didn't. My mom was like, "Well, you know what you gotta do. Your responsibility is here. Blah blah blah. Are you gonna?" And we was like, "Yeah, okay, yeah." Do you know what's weird as well? Do you know what's actually weird? I have to give thanks and praise to the Most High for this. The same brother that I was telling you about who was seriously influential in my upbringing. He actually turned up to my house the day me and my missus told my mum that she was pregnant. That man, he didn't even say anything. He knocked at the front door, yeah, and I went to the front door and opened it, and I remember it like it was yesterday. I just looked at him and he said to me, "What's wrong?" And I said, "My missus is pregnant," and I literally like my eyes filled up with tears, yeah, and dude just hugged me. That was it. Didn't say anything. Didn't need to say anything. We stood there for about a good 20, 30 seconds, no joke. And I felt so much better when I let go of that man. I am telling you, I felt like I felt like any I felt like it was okay. I felt like, do you know what? It's gonna be all right. And it was. I'm not gonna lie, it was hard, but it was good. It's been good. Being a dad has been the single-handedly the biggest life experience I have ever gained, and I know it will ever. Nothing can surpass this. Nothing can surpass this. Being a dad, are you nuts? Being a granddad is gonna come close, yeah, but being a dad, and I will still be teaching my sons when they have their children. So being a dad don't stop. It's not gonna stop. Not until I'm not here. That's when it will stop. But until that day, I'm still gonna be someone's dad. Like it's really weird as well because when I was doing my training this morning before I left for work, like all the children outside when they're leaving for school in the morning, or should I say all the younger ones, they were like morning, morning because they all know me. And it's really weird mentioning those boys who grew up in houses with their parents. There are maybe five families that live in my block. And the funny thing is, two of them have no dads in the house at the moment. Well, one of them because dad passed away. The other one, dad had to leave the country. Otherwise, there'd be five families in my block that grew up with mum and dad in the house. There are so many things that have changed since I was younger that have spurred me into being this community dad. And I didn't know when I found out I was going to be a dad that I'd be a dad to more than just my own children. I never considered being a role model to my nieces and nephews. Never. It never occurred to me that that would happen. Never. But it has happened. And why has it happened? Because I've been put in a position by the grace of the Most High to help guide the next generation of my family. And I welcome it with open arms. I welcome it. I welcome it with an open heart because I don't think there's anything greater than handing down your knowledge to the next generation. Which is why I'm sitting here having these conversations with you guys because I know exactly how hard it is to have nobody there to talk to. I know exactly what that feels like. I know exactly what it feels like when you've got questions for yourself, questions for your parents, questions for your peers and you can't ask anyone. You know, the wickedest thing is your feelings or how you feel when you find out you're going to become a dad depend on so many different things. It depends on your family, it depends on your parents, it depends on your past, your mental state, your financial state. Every single one of these things come into play. And if you think you can somehow be prepared for parenthood, you are sadly mistaken. You cannot have enough money. You cannot be prepared enough. You cannot have enough clothes. There is nothing in this world that can prepare you for being a parent at all. At all. And we all know that, you know, human beings are individual people. I think a lot of people forget that children are these individual people that grow into adults. They are completely individual as well. You never get children that are exactly the same, even if they're twins. I've seen two sets of twins grow on my estate. Yeah, they are absolutely nothing like each other. I got a set of, well, it's not a set of twins downstairs. They look really alike, these two children. And the weirdest thing is they ain't even got the same mum, same dad. It's really weird. But yeah, I've seen twins grow. I got twins in my family, and they are nothing like each other. Bearing in mind the twins in my family is a boy and a girl, but you know, it, it's just weird. It's just weird. Going back to what the different things in your life that can have that can play a factor on you being a parent or how you feel. You, the number one thing that plays on your head about being a parent and how you feel on being a parent, becoming a dad is you. Bros, somebody higher than us chose you to bring life into this world. Somebody higher than us chose you, chose you, brothers, to guide somebody else in this life. If you think to yourself, do you know what? I don't know if I can do this. I don't know what to do. I'm going to tell you this. When you're done feeling sad and upset and angry and frustrated, just remember, somebody thought you was worthy to be their teacher. And not just their school teacher, not just their personal trainer, not just, one of those people that's a life coach. Their personal life guide. Someone higher than you and me, some purpose, some being, some force thought that you were worthy to be somebody's dad. Forget the past. Try and put it to one side as best you can. I've had to do that. I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy. Forget all of your doubts, because if you're somebody that is questioning yourself before you even see your son or your daughter, if you're a man that's questioning whether you're actually capable of being a dad, you're already doing one of the right things. You don't need to worry anymore because somebody said, "This is my dad." I know personally, I know there are situations and circumstances that pull people outside of, being able to rationalize certain situations or even sit down and think about things like I've just said. But you know what? Ultimately, my brothers, ultimately, whether you've got an addiction, whether your circumstances are not quite adequate, or the situation that you're in is not quite as healthy as you would like it to be, you can change it. And if you can't, your child doesn't have to suffer. Your child is not supposed to suffer. So those feelings that you've got all intertwined inside you, bubbling up, making you question what you're doing, or even making you say, "Do you know what? This isn't worth it." Hold on. Hold on. It's totally worth it. It's totally worth it. Speaking firsthand from somebody who had children when he was young and was able to grow with them, and seeing other people when they're older have children and teach them at a different age in life when they've got things a little bit more together, when they're a little bit more clued up. Both sides of the coin are brilliant. If you can grow with your child, you experience life in a different way. If you've experienced life and you can teach your child, that's completely a bonus as well. There's no bad thing about having children, none. So, from my perspective and how I felt, even though I was scared, even though I was nervous, I was extremely happy. I was extremely ecstatic. And right now, 23 years later, I see how blessed I was to be able to call myself a dad. I see how important my role is in the greater picture of somebody else's life other than my own. What I have done is, from my perspective, what I've done is nothing. Is It's nothing. It's what I'm supposed to do. It really is what I'm just supposed to do. Some people would say, "Oh no," I've heard people say to me, "No, you're doing a great job." My grandmothers are those two ladies in particular that have said to me on any occasion that they can get an opportunity, they absolutely do. D, you're doing a brilliant job with them boys. You and your missus done a brilliant job with those children since you were born. Even my aunt, yeah, even my aunt has said to me, "I didn't think you two were gonna make it. I didn't know what it was gonna be like for you two, but we had all the faith in the world." Thank you. But ultimately, if we didn't choose to do what we did, I don't know what would have happened to my son, but I know how I felt when I found out I was going to be a dad. That made me, in that moment, in that moment, I'd chosen. I wasn't going to leave them, no matter what happened. No matter what happened, my children would always have me. And as I said, you know what, brothers, I've made mistakes in my life. Man, don't think I'm sitting there like, yeah, do you know I ain't done nothing. Blow up, brothers. Man's done a couple things where even you'd be like, oh, whoa, hold on a second, really? I know. Man don't look like that kind of brother. Yeah, could be a number of things you man's thinking. There's so many different things. I'm not even gonna pinpoint anything. I'm just gonna let you run. Yeah, let the comments run. Let your heads run as well, bros. There's things every man's done in their life that they're not happy with. Don't mean you can't teach your children how to not do those things. Those things shouldn't stop you. Didn't stop me, and they never will. I am a dad. I am proud to be a dad, and I've always been happy. How did I feel when I found out I was gonna be a dad? On top of the world. That's how I felt. Bros, you know exactly what it is. Promotion time. The podcast, as you can tell and know already, we are available on all major platforms. Apple Podcast, Google Play, and Spotify. Yes, you heard me. Apple Podcast, Google Play, and Spotify. Also available on Instagram, my brothers. Future Fathers, Future underscore Fathers FF. Yeah, and my brother, catch him as well. Say Nay Official. We are live on YouTube at least once a week. You know, we try. There's technical problems that everyone has. You know, content creators out there know. Yeah, and if you don't know, then you're not a content creator. If you got no idea of the problems that we go through, I should stop crying right now. Anyway, bros, please like, share, subscribe. Do the flicky button. Use lot know which one that one is. Post notifications so when the videos go up and when we're live, yeah, you man will know. Everyone will know. The world will know about us, the future fathers. My brothers, I beg you, please enjoy your week. Stay well. Stay blessed.